And now...
I was excited that I didn't have to do the reparations question and then got the moon question, which could be more complicated. Doesn't that go in your headlines that shouldn't exist bucket?
It really should. I mean, but apparently, I read this too in USA Today. Apparently, the moon, because the core is cooling or something.
It's our fault.
I'm sorry, why does it matter?
It doesn't.
Okay.
I know, but it's funny because you really could do a whole sketch about that because we are so blame happy in this country. Somebody has to take. I think the moon's on Ozempic, and that's the whole thing. What do you think about conservatives in Texas are talking about Texas? Well, this happens like every 2 years. This is Texas seceding.
Oh.
They love to talk about it. It started out as its own country, right? While Texas was its own country.
We just had a bill in New Hampshire. We get it almost every 2 years. Someone wants to.
But Nikki Haley, your girl, said she doesn't think that's illegal. Come on, she doesn't know why the Civil War happened, and she doesn't get that secession is illegal.
Yeah, look, I'm not advocating for anyone to see. I don't think Nikki's advocating for any of that.
No, but she said she didn't think it was illegal, and it is illegal. You can't secede from the Union. That's like number one.
Yeah,
we're the United States.
I think everybody understands that's where we need to be. And that's what we need to fight for.
But Nikki Haley needs a bit of a history lesson. I mean,
that's broader than the secession issue.
Yeah.
What?
That's broader than the secession issue. If we go back to the whole slavery.
I know. I'm saying she seems to have skipped grades. I don't know. Some of them.
The debate took center stage on HBO's Real Time with Bill Maher, where host Bill Maher and Fox News contributor Jessica Tarlov clashed over the rising appeal of third-party politics. Maher, ever the skeptic, dismissed movements like No Labels as political theater empty spectacles that stoke voter frustration without offering real solutions. He argued that while these efforts capitalize on public discontent, they fail to tackle the deep-rooted problems within the system. Tarlov, however, pushed back, asserting that such movements reflect a genuine hunger for alternatives. She highlighted the growing number of disillusioned voters desperate for a way out of the relentless polarization of the two-party system. Their heated exchange exposed the broader tensions gripping American politics and the steep challenges third-party movements face in a system designed to maintain the status quo. But the larger question remains, can these movements spark meaningful political engagement? Or will they simply deepen divisions and feed voter apathy? The answer could shape the future of American democracy. And it's more uncertain than ever. Let's dive into this must-watch discussion.
I mean, that's it. Look, politics is not a spectator sport, people. You got to get involved. You got to vote. You got to participate.
They could vote for Joe Biden, though. That's available.
But according to the polls, they won't.
That's not true.
Nikki Haley beats Biden by 10, 15 points. According to the polls, they're not going to vote for Biden.
Everybody stop yelling.
American politics is approaching a boiling point, with voter dissatisfaction surging like never before. Once hailed as the bedrock of democracy, the two-party system now feels more like a straitjacket, outdated, restrictive, and ill-equipped to handle the nation's growing complexities. Partisan polarization has reached unprecedented levels, leaving voters stuck between what many see as a false choice, Republican or Democrat. For a growing number of Americans, that decision has become little more than choosing the lesser of two evils. In the midst of this frustration, movements like No Labels and independent candidates such as Robert F. Kennedy Jr. are stepping into the spotlight. Promising to disrupt the entrenched political order, they present themselves as fresh alternatives to the long-standing duopoly, vowing to bridge divides and offer voters a new path forward. But are these efforts truly rooted in widespread disillusionment, or are they opportunistic ventures seizing on political fatigue? Bill Maher didn't mince words in his critique. He dismissed the No Labels movement as political theater, flashy and attention-grabbing, but ultimately devoid of real solutions. In his view, these third-party efforts feed off voter frustration without offering viable strategies to address systemic problems. Jessica Tarlov, however, offered a different take. She argued that the rise of third-party candidates signals a genuine shift in voter sentiment. Rather than checking out, Americans are actively searching for a political home that better reflects their values. One that moves beyond the rigid left versus right framework, with the future of American democracy hanging in the balance. A critical question remains, will these emerging movements inspire real, lasting change, or are they simply another detour in an already fractured system? One thing is clear, the political landscape is on the brink of a major transformation.
Shrinking. Now, okay, Jessica, how damaging could a potential no labels presidential ticket be for Joe Biden? So this is an official third party now, no labels. Who is this?
A bunch of grifters.
Joe Manchin. It says, what do you make of rumors Joe Manchin will be their candidate? Oh, exciting.
I'll start by saying the no labels folks are grifters, and everyone should know that they're just trying to...
Grifters?
Grifters.
Right.
Yes.
You don't think they're sincere?
I think they're sincere like 40 minutes a day, and then I think the rest of it is just an attempt to get people who feel disenfranchised, like they're looking around, they're like, they're two 80-year-old guys, I don't like either of them.
Right.
Give me more money, give me more money.
Right.
And they don't really care what the outcome is, and they justify it by saying, it's going to suck either way.
Wow.
But apparently, the top polling no labels ticket is Nikki Haley as president and Joe Manchin as VP. I happen to think, and Joe Manchin is not my favorite Democrat, though he voted with us all the time, and I'm thankful for having someone in West Virginia. I don't think he would do something like that because it would just destroy an entire legacy that he's had. But they do take more support from Trump than they do from Biden. It's the same with like RFK Jr. If he were able to get on more than half a ballot or something like that.
Their exchange struck at the heart of a deeper issue, a growing belief that neither major party is truly equipped to address the nation's most urgent challenges. From climate change and income inequality to abortion rights and gun control, Republicans and Democrats remain mired in partisan deadlock where gridlock reigns and meaningful progress feels increasingly out of reach. In this climate of mounting frustration, it's no surprise that figures like Robert F. Kennedy Jr. and movements like No Labels have captured the attention of disillusioned voters. They present themselves as disruptors, offering a fresh approach, pragmatic solutions, and a commitment to bipartisanship. Yet their rise prompts a critical question: are they authentic reformers seeking real change, or savvy opportunists capitalizing on a broken system? Bill Maher's sharp critique of third-party movements as political oatmeal, bland, uninspired, and guaranteed to ruin everyone's appetite captures the deep skepticism many Americans feel. The harsh reality is that the U.S. political system, with its winner-takes-all structure, was never designed to accommodate third parties. Efforts to challenge the two-party dominance often end up as spoilers splitting votes, fracturing the electorate, and tipping elections in unpredictable directions. As public discontent continues to grow, one thing is certain: the appetite for alternatives is real. But whether these emerging movements represent the solution or just another dead-end detour remains to be seen.
A recent study found a growing political divide between men and women, with younger women skewing much more liberal than men. This is not new, but I think it's just more prevalent. I think the number I saw was 30 points. That is a huge.
And that's the abortion issue, right?
That's a lot of.
As Republicans, we're losing young people, we're losing suburban moms, we're losing women, strictly on the abortion issue, and that's just terrible for the party.
I think it's abortion, it's guns, it's climate change, it's social justice,
and Trump, and the pussy grabber,
Trump,
who's
yes.
like the who.
And now owing 83 million.
I'm not with Trump. I don't know why you guys keep looking at me.
I know. But what's interesting, what you two have in common is that you both can't say, yeah, and of course, so I'm voting for Biden. You both can't do that. I just find that interesting.
He can't say, she can't say, you can't say, Biden can't say, and most white people won't say, I'll sit down and talk about black people, about real black issues from a place where I know I'm going to leave the table.
Different issue. I'm
talking about fucking racist.
I know you are.
Like, we don't want to talk about that. But when you say me and him are the same, we're the same. Besides that, we want to do it. Like, how has Biden or Trump been good for my...
The debate laid bare a deepening divide over how to address growing voter disillusionment, raising a critical question: do third-party movements offer real solutions, or are they just giving false hope? Where do you stand? Drop a comment below and join the conversation. We'd love to hear your perspective. If you found this discussion thought-provoking, don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more content that dives deep into the issues shaping our democracy. Thanks for watching.